All right, guys, let's get started on page 3. While page 2 was income and assets, page 3 is about liabilities. So you will go through page 3, and this is the page where you can pull out more loans from a borrower if they already own a home. I love page 3. I could be geeking out right now, maybe it's just me, but you can go through all of someone's liabilities, their credit accounts, and ask them what they're all about. Go through all their properties and find out where there are other opportunities to get more loans. So I'm so excited about this. Let's jump into page 3. Typically, after page 2 of the application is when you're going to pull the client's credit report in, because page 3 is all about the client's assets and their liabilities, because you want to find out what debts they have. And after we go over this later on in our lessons, we're going to go over how to analyze a credit report. But the first thing, you want to pull the credit report in to the application, which is why I personally like to fill out a fill-in form first, because I don't want a client on the phone on hold for 5 or 10 minutes while I'm pulling a credit report in. It takes up too much time. You want to go through everything and come back with questions later. So be mindful of the client's time. So after page 2 of the application, page 3, you can't really analyze that page until you pull the credit report. And in page 3, we'll populate all their liabilities, their credit cards, any car loans, any student loans. Also, if they're divorced, any alimony or child support payments would go in here. So as we previously discussed, you're asking this guy, are you married? Or this girl, are you married? If they say they're divorced, you want to ask them the follow-up question, do you have any liabilities? Are you paying any child support? Are you paying any alimony? Are you receiving any child support? Are you receiving any alimony? And then page 3 is where you'll analyze the client's assets, which automatically will pop in here from page 2's assessment, and analyze their liabilities, which will come off the credit report. So page 3 is nice because it does the work for you by pulling it in through these things I just mentioned, and you're analyzing it for red flags. Wait a minute, all of a sudden the client told me that they didn't own a home. Why is there a mortgage on their credit report? You call back and say, hey, John Smith, you told me you didn't own a home. That's right. Well, I see a Chase mortgage on here. What's that about? Oh yeah, I helped my brother co-sign. Okay, well that's something we need to talk about, because if you're co-signing for your brother, is he making the payments? Can I get verification for the past 12 months that your brother's made the payments out of their account? All right, good, then we can go forward. So page 3 is really for you asking questions about their debts if you are unsure of what they are. And also if you to balance their assets. So it's assets and it's liabilities. You'll also ask them if they own other homes, the address of every property they own. Let's say they have a property that is a rental, and it is 111 Rental Way in Rentaltown, California, 11111. So this is your chance to enter in every single rental they have. So if you're a smart loan officer or broker and they do have other properties, this is your chance to look at their other properties, their assets, their liabilities, their other properties, and assess, is there an opportunity to help you restructure these loans? So ask them as you go through the address, the type of property. Let's say in this case, he owned a rental, so it's an SFR, single family residence. The value was $500,000. He owed on it $125,000. His income on rents was $2,000 a month. His payments were $2,250. His tax and insurance was, we'll call it, included in this payment. And so his net rental income was positive $250. You'd sit there and ask the borrower, wait a minute, what kind of rate do you have on this Rentaltown property? Oh, it's 5.5. And then you go to your mortgage calculator and you say, I can get you 4.5. That would drop down this payment from negative rent here. This payment would drop down to $1,800. Now instead of negative $250 in rents, you are positive $200 in rents. That actually, John, is going to help me help you qualify for your purchase loan. Isn't that great? That's great. And also, you told me you had to borrow money from your brother to get this home. What if I gave you $15,000 out of this home to help you buy with? So I could probably still save you money and cash you out. That's amazing. Now you're becoming an expert. Your eyes and mind are staying wide open. You're looking for other opportunities to help this guy qualify himself. So the purpose of you taking data is not just to be a receptionist or be someone that's taking information. It's for you to find out where other opportunities are going to arise. So that's how you'll fill out the schedule of real estate. And let's summarize page 3 again. This is where you want to pull the credit report, identify and confirm all their assets, verify all their liabilities, and then go over their schedule of real estate to see what properties they own with the mindset of where else can I help you? And after you've done that, you come down to just basic data entry on your declarations. Borrower and co-borrower. This is what the underwriter is going to look at, and this is kind of like your version of a background check, where you're going to fill in outstanding liens or judgments against you. If the answer is yes, it may disqualify your borrower. If they're in a lawsuit and they're about to get sued and lose, then your team needs to know about that. And it doesn't mean if they're in a lawsuit that they can't get a mortgage. Maybe there's a $5,000 dispute over payroll from their past employer, and their employer sued them for maybe commissions earned that got reclawed back. So that's up to the underwriter's discretion to say, is this a credit risk? If our borrower gets sued and loses, are we going to be in jeopardy? And that's their call. But it's your chance also to explain before. The rule is, if you can catch something before, it's an explanation. If you don't, it's an excuse. Don't put your borrowers in the position where you're making excuses for them because you didn't catch something up front. So explain up front, and you'll be better off for that. So any judgments against you, declaring bankruptcy, any foreclosures, any lawsuits, and you'll answer yes or no. So that's page 3. That is the sum of it all. It's going over the loan very cleanly, making sure you're an expert and staying in front of any potential challenges you have. All right, guys, that was page 3, and I hope you are now seeing that the purpose of taking a 1003 is not just to input information, but it is to get more business. So page 3 up, page 3 down. I'll see you on page 4.